Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Meg, and in today's video we're gonna get up close and personal with me. Like, we're just gonna do some makeup, get personal, we're gonna chat and just kind of get into stuff where how I've been the last few years and just get personal. I don't think I've ever done a video like this. In today's video I really feel like I'm sort of diving into like how I've been feeling the last few years since COVID started and just like what I've been going through, and maybe there's something that you can connect to with this as well. And we're just gonna put on this really pretty makeup look. If you wanna just chat, vent, and catch up, this video is for you. Let's go. All right, let's do some makeup and chat. Everything I'm using, I'll link below, like always. I just really wanted to chat. So I am taking the girls to go see Legally Blonde, the musical, tonight. And I'm really excited about it. You guys know I taught theater for 10 years. I taught 8 years in a high school theater program, public school, actually the high school that I went to. I taught for 10 years. I started teaching when I was 23. I was really young. And then I taught junior high for 2 years. I taught 6th grade part-time as I was like growing my blog and my business. I just wanted to kind of get deep a little bit. I feel like on Instagram, sometimes I feel like there's a lot of pressure to say the right thing, to do the right thing, to be everything to everyone. I felt like almost like an identity crisis, almost like I don't know what I'm doing on social media lately. I feel like I'm just doing all the things and like going through the motions, and I'm not growing really a whole lot. I see like expansive growth from other creators who just started like on TikTok 3 years ago, and they're like got millions of followers when I've been doing this for like 14 years, and you know, I'm just still chugging along. I'm like, is that a sign I should quit? I don't think it is, because I make a consistent living doing this. I support myself and my family. So for me, you know, I don't think you have to have millions of followers to make a living doing this. I think it's a big misconception. I've been like kind of struggling with a lot of things on social media and like how to approach topics and how to have personal conversations, things like that. I feel like over the years, ever since COVID, especially during when George Floyd was so brutally murdered and the whole Black Lives Matter movement was a big thing, this country started getting more and more divisive. I think it was important for influencers and creators to sort of speak up on topics and kind of take a stand somewhere and be human. And I do that, you know, I started really speaking out during that time. I started speaking out more and more, and I'm not a very political person. I think I've increasingly grown more interested in politics, and like when it comes to especially my kids and the world that they're growing up in, and like what kind of legacy I want to leave them and what they're going to be growing up with and what they're going to be raising kids in is so important to me. Public school is such a big issue for me, stuff like that. And I started getting more involved on a personal level with especially things like public school and voting and being very, very informed when I really wasn't before. So I started to kind of speak out a little bit, and it was kind of terrifying at first, but I think everybody who didn't want to hear it unfollowed, or at least the most of them did. And then I would just, you know, every now and then, like I don't try to be like a news source. I don't try to be like, you're not coming to my page to get like news information. I'm not politic, but I want my followers to know that there's a real person behind the screen that cares about important topics, especially when it comes to like mass shootings in public schools, and all of that trauma associated with that, and being a former teacher. Over the past, like, what's it been, like 3 years or so, I feel like people just get nastier and nastier in the DMs, and they feel like since they follow you or that you put your opinion online somewhere, that they're allowed to just fight you. And so that started kind of taking a toll on me. Like, I just honestly, my mental health was not strong enough to handle like constantly being attacked in DMs if I stood up against something. I remember I was with some friends when they announced the 2020 presidential election results. and I posted a boomerang with a like just cheersing with champagne glasses, not even anything like I hate Donald Trump, or we were just like, cheers America, like it's over, because I really cared more about voting somebody out, and I'm like, it's over. I remember posting that boomerang and getting a DM, and I wasn't being inflammatory at all with what I was saying, and this person just went off on me on how I was hiding my true self from my followers just to get money from them, and how, I'm a scam. And I'm like, I have been so subtly like voicing my opinion here and there. I have my freaking pronouns in my bio. I am very polite about the way that I voice things. I don't try to single anybody out, but if you're going to draw that conclusion, whatever. And for me, that's stuck with me because it's like, I'm just a person just trying to do the best that I can. This tangent, I don't know. I think that stuck with me. Like I was being a scam, and that I was just like waited till after the election to show my true colors. And I'm just like, it's just weird to me that there's all these weird expectations on digital creators and influencers to say the right thing, do the right thing, be the right thing. And I think in the process, I've sort of lost myself, because I'm like, I'm just trying not to fight people in my DMs because I'm too fragile to deal with it. I just don't have the mental capacity, because I would spiral. I would get a DM and I would spiral. I would sit there and I would just be like, I have to fight this person back. I have to defend myself. I have to, and that's probably the people pleaser in me. I'm trying to work through that. I've worked through that, I think, in therapy, and like spent so much time and energy making sure that I said the right thing, made the right statement, that I wasn't offending people, that I was not going to get attacked. However you fall in your beliefs, you're welcome to be here. I'm not going to sit here and ridicule you for your beliefs. We don't know each other. We're across the screen from one another. You're welcome to be here. I simply put my thoughts and opinions online, and you're welcome to do the same thing on your own page. Post your own rants, and the whole well, you put it online, so you should be able to face the criticism that comes along with it, is a tired argument. It's so tired to me, because it's like, okay, so then that means I can go onto your page and start fighting with you and disagreeing with everything you said, but you're going to turn and flip that around and be like, well, this is my page. If you don't like it, you can step away. I'm so tired of fighting people on social media. I'm so tired of going on Facebook and there being fights over everything. I'm so tired of going on all of these platforms, and all it is just nonsense over and over. People just fighting. It's honestly the stupidest culture war that we're probably going to look back on and be like, why did we care so much about this? Like, why were we fighting so much about this? This makes no sense. Our kids are going to be like so embarrassed for us. Gen Z is already like, you guys are dumb. Like, you millennials, you Gen Xers, you boomers, y'all are ridiculous. Where I was going with this is like, the main point of this is like, I feel like I kind of lost myself in the process of this. Like, I'm trying so hard to, say the right thing, make the right statement, not get in fights in the DMs, because I physically, I'm too fragile to handle that crap. Kind of lost my sparkle, I think. I don't know if any of you that have been following for a while have noticed that maybe on Instagram, where it's like, there's less and less crazy personality coming out. It's more straightforward. Here's a makeup tutorial. Straightforward. Here's this. It's just, I'm so tired of constantly defending my thoughts. It's not constant anymore. I've strategically not, I don't really sit there and post my opinions all day long on heated topics. I really don't. Every now and then I'll say something after a school shooting, which is far too often, I'll say something. How do I not say something on that? Just long story short, I feel like I've stalled. I feel like I've stalled in this phase because I'm sort of dimming myself down a little bit. And to top all that off, I went through some like personal mental health stuff starting in 2020. I had Logan in 2019. He was 6 months old when the pandemic happened. And so I was dealing with some like postpartum depression right then and there. And then I was having some issues with a family member. I can't really go into a lot of details. I don't want to air dirty laundry. I was having some issues where I had to set some really firm boundaries. I've never had to do that before, and so I started therapy, and I was setting like really hard boundaries. I was setting boundaries. I was dealing with the postpartum depression. I was going to therapy. I was doing virtual therapy like over Zoom because it was like the middle of the pandemic. I'm really thankful that I started that when I did, because I really think that it helped me. But then I started getting, what was it, last year, for some reason, it started getting to be like hard all of a sudden for me again. I felt like I was just dealing with some more unresolved depression. I just had a hard time feeling motivated. I was unmotivated. I got back into therapy, but I did with a psychiatrist. I did a virtual option there and started some medication. I'm not on it anymore. It did help me get through some of that. All of that lumped together, dealing with the mental health things, the postpartum depression, not having to set really firm boundaries and like be consistent while setting those boundaries and sticking to it, just really follow through to send the message of those boundaries, is a lot of work in itself, because you're doing undoing a lot of stuff that you're just having to undo a lot of trauma and like kind of go through it again. I was also just really trying to work on myself. And I think in the process, I sort of lost myself through like the pandemic and trying to be the right thing and say the right thing. And then having those mental health issues and all that stuff just really took a toll on me. So last year I started working on myself again some more, with the medication, with doing the therapy. I'm not on it anymore, like I mentioned, but I'm feeling a lot better. But part of me still feels like I'm my own worst enemy for moving forward, moving in the right direction, and just like being myself on social media. You know, like I think I've kind of held myself back, like I mentioned, due to I just want to avoid conflict. There was enough conflict going on in my life, so I just didn't want to fight people on the internet, so I kept everything really safe. Another thing I also notice is on Instagram, if I sit there and talk to the camera and I do like makeup tutorials and a bunch of stories, people just tune out. I know there's like, you know, people have attention spans and like you really got to grab people's attention and stuff. But like I was getting discouraged because I would spend so much time on content just for Instagram stories, and then it would disappear in 24 hours. I was providing super helpful content and then people didn't care about it. It seemed that way. So I started switching my strategy there to do more just like less talking on stories and more talking like on my feed, on reels, on YouTube, stuff like that. And that was a little discouraging for me because I'm like, people don't care about me, like what's going on? I really want to get back to like doing fun things and just really not giving a flying crap about what people think, and let the ones that don't want to be there just leave, you know? And most of them have, granted. Like I think I've weeded out most of the people that probably are not, like, my content's not for them. Like I used to even get a lot of messages when I would get Botox and filler and stuff. They'd be like, why are you doing that? You should just age gracefully. And I'm like, we all have choices. You either are like team, you do you, I do me, or you're not. Like you just like let people live and do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting somebody. This is literally my philosophy in life. Let people live their lives as long as they are not actively hurting anybody else. What is wrong with it? Me getting a needle in my face does not impact your life in any way. Somebody down the street practicing a different religion than you affects your life in 0 ways. Somebody marrying whoever they want to marry impacts your life in 0 ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, I don't know. I just want my space here to be a safe space. I'm not going to berate you for your opinions and your thoughts and your feelings so long as you're not actively hurting somebody else. If you are actively hurting someone, I feel like I have a responsibility probably to say something and stand up for somebody who's being marginalized or victimized or abused or bullied. But if it's simply an opinion like, well, I'm not going to get Botox. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That is fine. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to save a lot of money. I'm curious if you've been following for a while or if there's any kind of content like you want to see here on Instagram, stuff like that. I really just want to know, like, what is your favorite thing to see? I've really kind of, like I said, I've just sort of kind of stepped my personal life away from Instagram a lot. I mean, I'll put some of it on there, but for the most part, I just keep it like very simple. And like here on YouTube too, I don't feel like I ever get personal. There's a few personal videos. I was like scrolling back on my Instagram account earlier, like looking at 4 years ago, 5 years ago, stuff like that, and like what I was posting. And I feel like I kept everything super curated on my feed, but I've still managed to get personal somehow. And I've sort of strayed away from that a little bit. I just poked myself in the eye. I've been doing this, like I said, for almost 14 years. So it can be a lot at times to continually do this. And like, how do I reinvent myself? How do I keep going? Like, what do I do? What do I say? And I've just decided, like, I feel like sitting down and just talking has really been a little cathartic for me. But this is a really safe place for me to do that because the ones that really care about me, I think, will watch this, and the ones that are there to just be nasty probably won't even sit through this video. That's where I'm at right now. I just wanted to get really personal today and just chat through some stuff. I'm turning 40 in June. In 2 short months, I will be 40. So I am reaching the over 40 club, which I feel like might open a few more doors, and me being kind of in like, are you young? Are you old? Are you mature skin? Are you like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like 40 though is not even old anymore. I feel like so many people are peaking and starting and reinventing themselves in their 40s and 50s, and I'm excited to just take my life to the next level and, you know, follow it where I need to be. And hopefully my content will be like even more helpful for those that are reaching those ages and want to finding the best products within their budget. Like, I really hope to be that person. And I do want to share some more of myself a little bit too. Like, I'm kind of tired of being like the one trick pony sometimes with beauty. And so it tends to get a little boring. If you've been doing this for 14 years, you're like, can you imagine like making this kind of content for so long? It's like, well, what do I do next? You know what I'm saying? I gotta create some more content and like have fun with things and, you know, let loose, have fun. Like, I don't care if it doesn't really fit within my niche or whatever anymore. Like, I was looking back and I made this like whole freaking music video when I was pregnant with Logan. I did the baby mama dance, but I turned it into a whole like production, and I'm like, I would love to do some more things like that again, because like I have a theater background. I like love the production value of putting on a show. I would put on musical theater music and I would lip sync while putting on makeup. So like I did a Hamilton one, and then I did like a mishmash of musicals, and I want to do something like that again. I think that'd be so fun. Should I talk and do lip liner? If you've been around a while and you enjoy following and there's something that I used to do that you miss, I would love to know. I really had no plan of what I was going to talk about when I sat down. I really thought about like, I'm just going to let the words come when I sit down, like, and say what's on my heart and like how I've been feeling. And I think that was the right call. So like I said, we're going to Legally Blonde, the musical, tonight, and I think this look is gonna look good. I gotta do my falsies. Let's add some gloss. Should I do more of these chatty videos? We can talk about any topics. Like we could really just like dive deep into stuff that isn't makeup. We could talk about whatever. Do makeup while we chat about a topic. Well, I talk and then you listen. I've just been wanting to share my heart a little bit more. I've just been wanting to get on and not be afraid that somebody's gonna want to fight me. And I think I'm in a good place now where I can be that person that I feel like I wanted to be. Like I I said before, I was feeling so fragile. I'm feeling less and less fragile about having to defend myself, but I'm in a much better place. There's some things that I've been doing, like, I think that have been really helpful for me. Prayer, meditation, journaling has been really helpful, moving my body. I've decided I'm not going to be doing any more high impact movement for my age. I think it's just too hard on my body. So I've been doing a ton of walking, like a ton. For those of us that are over 40 or even nearing 40, lifting is a really good thing to start doing in your mid to late 30s and start into your 40s. So I really want to start incorporating lifting more. Eating more protein, sleeping enough, I think has really been so helpful in really helping my overall wellness. Whatever religion you practice, I feel like you can incorporate these steps into, where, you know, you make sure to meditate and to say affirmations and like write down your affirmations and think about them and start changing your mindset a little bit. Like almost, I don't know if you've heard of like the lucky girl syndrome. Like it's almost like kind of like law of attraction stuff, but it's more about like changing your perspective on life. Instead of being so negative, you're full of gratitude so that your attitude changes, and then you feel much more empowered to tackle the day. You really think positive things are happening, and you believe when you start to trick your brain that positive things are happening to you, positive things actually start happening. You know, trying to change and work on myself to make myself a better mom, better partner, better spouse, better creator. It's just changed my outlook on a lot of things, is doing a lot of inner work, coming at life with a sense of gratitude and thanking God for everything that I have. And I could do a whole video on this, on what I've been doing to kind of shift. So I think this is going to be its whole topic, but prayer, meditation, journaling, affirmations, physical movement, not anything too high impact, eating lots of protein, like just makes big difference. If you want me to go into more detail on all this stuff, I would absolutely love to go into like the inner work things that I've been doing, because I think it's really helped me a lot. I think I've been talking for a really long time. This, like I said, I had no plans on what I was gonna do or what I was gonna say. I was gonna sit down and just do my makeup and chat, and I was gonna just say what came to my brain. So if you stuck around for this whole video and you're here, and you really appreciate you being here and sticking around, even if I felt a little lost or had a little bit of an identity crisis or felt too fragile to be myself, I appreciate you being here and you seeing my heart and for who I am. It means a lot to me. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. I think I honestly cleared a lot of the tension that I've been holding on to. I'm trying to be myself more. I just did my makeup. I can't start crying. I think I just released something that I needed to release, because I feel a lot better. So thank you for letting me vent a little bit. And thank you so much for your support, because this felt like a therapy session to me almost. Just saying it out loud and just like letting go of it is so powerful. I need to get ready for Legally Blonde. Oh my God, you guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.